Hey everybody, how is it going today? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3D printing stock that ARK Invest has been buying hand over fist, and it now represents the #1 holding in their 3D printing ETF fund. I'm going to tell you who this company is, how much ARK Invest has been buying, plus we're going to go over their charts and talk about some other trading opportunities I see happening in the market right now. Now, if you are new to my channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like to find undervalued stocks with high growth potential and talk about all other things finance-related as well. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. The name of this company is 3D Systems. 3D Systems Corporation is a 3D printing company that provides comprehensive 3D printing and digital manufacturing solutions, including 3D printing for plastics, metals, materials, software, and on-demand manufacturing services. Now, this video is going to be more about how much ARK Invest has been buying, but I'm also going to do an analysis of their current chart. But I did do a more in-depth video on 3D Systems before, so if you are interested in learning more about this company, I will link that at the end of this video. Now, before we head over and see what ARK Invest has been doing, I did want to touch base on this recent bullish news article I found, and it says that they can attribute 3D Systems stock's robust performance last month to several company-specific catalysts, as well as to the strength of the overall market. It says on November 3rd, shares rose 8.5% following the company's announcement of its sale of its Cimatron and Gibbs CAM software businesses to Battery Ventures for $65 million. This move was part of the company's restructuring plan, and the deal is expected to close in the fourth quarter of 2020. Investors must have liked that 3D Systems is on track to get an infusion of cash soon, as liquidity has been a concern this year. And it says shares tacked on another 12% on the 3-day period following the company's release of its third quarter results on November 5th, which beat Wall Street's expectations and led to an analyst upgrade. William Blair's Brian Drab upgraded his rating on 3D Systems from underperform to a market perform. Now, in my previous video that I made on 3D Systems, it showed ARK Invest had been accumulating their stock and built a position of 355,000 shares, which was the 12th largest holding and accounted for just over 4% of the fund. But if we look at ARK Invest's latest record of their print ETF fund, we can see ARK Invest has increased their position to almost 600,000 shares, and it's now the biggest holding, representing almost 7% of the fund. So ARK Invest has almost doubled its position in 3D Systems. All right, well, let's get into the charts. This is the current daily chart of 3D Systems, ticker symbol DDD. But before I get into it, I do want to let you know that we do have a Patreon. So if you want to know what we are trading before we post it on YouTube, we put everything on the Patreon account first. And if you want to support the channel, the link is down there. Plus, we also have a Discord where we bounce ideas off each other. And if you have any questions for me, I get back to that Discord first. So if you want to be a part of that community, the link is right down there in the description. But let's get into the chart, and let me zoom in just a little bit. I made my first video on 3D Systems around on October 8th, and that was probably right around this day right here. It was the next day, actually, but that was when I made that first video. I didn't buy any when that video came out, and it blasted through this 200-period simple moving average, but started to pull back, and I actually started a position at the 50-period simple moving average. I bought 250 shares at $5.76, and I had the intention of doubling down if it retested the 50-period simple moving average, but it did not. It basically went straight up. I did not realize it was going to do that, or I would have bought a heck of a lot more than 250 shares. But as of right now, I am currently out because I sold all of my shares on Friday at $10.46, or pretty much right where it closed. And I'm going to go into right now why I sold my shares. Now, if I back this chart up just a little bit, you can see it is butting up against this pretty stiff resistance area around $10.50. And I am guessing it's probably not going to be able to push through it because this stock is overextended. I'm hoping to buy on a pullback. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. I'll show you one of the other reasons that I bought the stock. It was making a very nice looking descending wedge formation. And once it hit resistance from that first push through the 200 period simple moving average when I made just after I made that first video, I wanted to be a part of it on the pullback, and I did buy some at that 50 period simple moving average, but right now I am out. Now, another reason that I wanted to sell my shares was because I've been following this print ETF for quite a while, and I noticed that ARK does a lot of trading in and out of these stocks. I mean, they do a lot of trading in and out of all of their stocks, but I have noticed that many of these companies, they go up and down the list as the #1 position in that fund. Back when I did that video on October 8th, 3D Systems was ranked number 12th in that fund, and now they're #1. And during that October 8th video, X1 was the #2 position, and as of right now, they have fallen all the way down to the 12th position. And actually, I did a video on X1 about a week before the 3D Systems video, and X1 was the #1 position back then. So they do a lot of trading, and I'm guessing with 3D Systems being the #1 position, plus it's already had this big run-up, ARK Invest is probably going to start trimming some of their positions soon, and I think this is just as good a time as ever for ARK Invest to start feeding some of their shares into the market that they bought at much cheaper prices, and that's what I am anticipating. But let's take a look at X1 real quick, and you can show you how volatile X1 is. Since ARK Invest has been doing their buying and selling, this thing has kind of been all over the place. You notice that the ranges was a little tighter before ARK Invest really started getting involved in it. So I'm expecting some volatility in 3D Systems. Let me go back to 3D Systems. But for that reason, for those reasons that I stated, I think this is a good time to be a seller of the stock. You know, I'm not bearish on this company. But I think in the short term, we're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback, and that's why I sold my shares. And but I am going to look to re-enter if it comes back and tests this trend line right here. Now, I do want to make one more point about ARK Invest before I jump on. Right here is a chart of alumina, and ARK Invest used to be a very large holder of alumina, but they have since unwound that position, and it was a very large position at one time. But I still have a small position in alumina, and I bought near the pandemic lows. So, you know, I have the luxury of being up still a decent amount in it, and it's not a very big position, so I'm not super worried about it. But I saw tons and tons of videos and press about ARK Invest getting out of alumina, and I know they have some pretty good reasons, but I don't like to just buy or sell blindly on what ARK Invest has been doing. And you know, when this big sell-off happened in September, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should have gotten out. Even though it's not a big position, I would rather make money on a stock than lose on it. But I'm still in the stock. But after it recovered after that sell-off, I wanted to see how it reacted after this sell-off, because I was pretty close to selling out if it did not react well, but it immediately bounced above that 8-period exponential moving average and started to move up. So I wanted to let it move around a little bit more before I made my decision. I saw that it was forming this descending wedge, which is typically a bullish pattern. It has since broken out of it. So as of right now, I mean, it's only, what, maybe 15% away from its all-time high, you know, so it's still a very attractive looking stock chart at the moment. But ARK Invest is completely out of it, so it doesn't have all that selling anymore. I would guess probably a lot of other retail investors who follow ARK Invest, you know, they know that ARK has been unwinding this position, so chances are if they were a weak hand, they probably have already sold out. So I would expect alumina to continue to move higher just because all that selling pressure probably has subsided. And this is just one of the reasons I don't like to just blindly do what ARK is doing. You know, I admit ARK is smarter than I am. You know, they have more resources than I am, than I have. You know, they're better looking. You know, they have a better bloodline. You name it, and I'm probably a distant second. So I'm not saying I'm smarter than them by any means, but I like to think just a little bit different. You know, I like to zig a little bit when the crowd is zagging, just because it seems like it's I wouldn't say easier to make money, but it seems like it's easier to make bigger gains that way. But that's the only other point I wanted to make on ARK Invest. Now, of course, after I've said this, it'll probably go and I'll end up with a huge loss. But I don't recommend you make all of your decisions based blindly on what ARK Invest is doing. But I got to admit, ARK Invest was one of the reasons why I did like Illumina. I had been following Illumina for years, and the fact that ARK Invest had high conviction in Illumina, that did make me feel better about the purchase. So, and I have a lot of respect for ARK Invest, like many people do. So, it was certainly one of the reasons why I did buy in, but it's never the whole reason. And I got a feeling that Illumina is going to be back to an all-time high before long. So I think that I'm going to be glad I didn't sell out of Illumina. All right, enough of that ARK Invest stuff. Let's get into some of the opportunities and some of the penny stocks that I see. The first one I want to show you is TELL. This one looks like it could be breaking higher any day now. Let me zoom in just a little bit. You can see how bullish that chart looks. Just a super good looking stock. And this is, I did not put this in I don't think I put this in my oil and gas penny stock video that I did last week. But some of these stocks are starting to look super bullish and they are continuing to be accumulated. And I am just waiting for them to start to break out just a little bit more before I buy one, but they are looking better by the day. So I wanted to go over them just one more time in case you guys didn't see that video. But the next one I want to show you is GTE. Let's see if I can get my software to work. There we go. If we look at GTE, GTE is about ready to bust over that 200 period simple moving average. So this one is still looking good. I would like to see them clear that moving average before I start piling into one of these. And most of these oil and gas penny stocks that are looking super good right now, I mean, almost all of them are trading under $1. So just a ton of opportunity in these if they get moving higher fast. But the next one I want to show you is CCLP, otherwise known as CCLP. If we go to CCLP, we can see that that one has busted above the 200 period simple moving average, and I'm waiting for this one to pull back a little bit, but this is a super good looking chart, starting to make that nice rounding bottom, and looks like it could be heading higher anytime now. The next one I want to show you is SNMP. And this one is looking super bullish at the moment. If we zoom in just a little bit, we can see how nice that rounding bottom is starting to form. This is only trading at 68 cents. I mean, like I said before, these are super cheap stocks. You just don't see a ton of stocks under $1 making great looking chart patterns. Those chart patterns, when they're under $1, they're very erratic, but some of these look very constructive. Let me go to the hourly chart on this one, and you can see just how nice this rounding bottom is starting to unfold. So this one is certainly on my watch list, and I am very interested to see if it can get just a little bit higher above these moving averages and hold, and then make another green bar. Then I'm probably going to be in on SNMP. Let me check out another one, TTI. As we can see, TTI is already coming out of that rounded bottom. It's above the 200 period simple moving average and starting to move higher. So some of these are already in a buy zone. But the oil and gas stocks, penny stocks, are starting to look super good. With the whole thing going on with the EVs, you wouldn't think that they'd be doing making constructive patterns, but they certainly are. Here's another one. It's a drilling company, Bore Drilling Limited. And this one is at 88 cents. It looks like it's poised to bust above that 200 period simple moving average and start moving higher. In these penny stocks, this 200-day simple moving average can be heavy resistance, so I like to see them clear that first before I get into it. You can see it found pretty stiff resistance a couple of weeks ago, and it's finding it right now because it had two chances just in the last couple of days to get over it, and it hasn't gotten over it just yet. But very bullish looking chart. So very bullish on these oil and gas penny stocks at the moment. All right, well, let's do an update on the current holdings. First one we're going to go over is Energy Fuels, ticker symbol UUUU. We're in on this one at $1.96, and right now it's trading at $2.58, so we are up pretty good on this one, and the chart still looks bullish. So I'm sitting tight on this one. I think we probably have some more upside, but let's get to the next one, which is Rave. Maybe. Go to Rave. We can see Rave is getting constructive, but it's been selling off these last two pops, which is kind of concerning. We're in at this one at 96 cents, so technically we are at a break even right now. But if we go to the hourly chart, we can see these two big volume spikes pushed it higher, but then there was no follow through. Now, this is not necessarily a bad sign, but hopefully we get some follow through real soon. I'm guessing with these two big green bars, I mean, this is all accumulation, and chances are you're not going to get this kind of accumulation without some follow through eventually. So I'm thinking that Rave is probably going to be taking off soon. Hopefully. I'm still sitting tight on it, and I'm going to hold it until it breaks these moving averages down here. If it breaks these moving averages, then I'm just going to cut ties and move on to the next opportunity. But I am still optimistic that Rave is going to get going, because this is a pretty constructive pattern at the moment. I would like to have seen a little bit more follow through, but it's not uncommon to see this before these penny stocks take off. So I am sitting tight with Rave restaurant groups. The next one is IGC. Go to IGC. And IGC is still holding above that 8-period exponential moving average. It is dangerously close to it. We're in on this one at $1.48, so we're still up a decent amount, but I would like to see it find support at this 8-period exponential moving average and shoot higher. If we zoom in just a little bit, we can see it is pretty much finding support at it right now, but we're not getting a lot of follow-through buying yet. That could change starting tomorrow. You know, we'll see. Hopefully it does and it screams higher. But if it doesn't break through this this high above let's see, at $2.66. If it doesn't get above that soon, we're probably going to be in trouble unless it just consolidates above this 8-period exponential moving average and just floats higher with it. Then we might get a press up against that resistance level and then an explosion through it. But I would have expected IGC to have run by now. But the pattern is still bullish, so I'm sitting tight on it, and because this thing is super explosive, it could explode higher any day now. So as of right now, I'm just sitting tight, and it's actually a good sign that it's above that 8-period exponential moving average. Now let's go to the next one, which is AUMN. AUMN is still holding above that 8-period exponential moving average as well. So I am still happy with this position. I'm in at AUMN at about 56 cents, so we're up just a hair on this one. But I would expect AUMN to start moving higher any day now. If we back out of it, you can see how nice of a pattern this is. It's this nice rounded bottom that's already starting to move to higher ground. If we go to the weekly, you can see it even better. Just a super bullish looking pattern, even on the weekly, which is pretty rare for penny stocks under $1, just to look super good on the weekly chart. But this one is definitely one of them. Now let's go to the stock that I'm holding right now that is not a penny stock, which is RPTX. RPTX still looks really bullish. We're in at RPTX at $30.14. I would expect this one to be pushing past 40 any time now, because it is still holding firmly above that 8-period exponential moving average. And if it can hold up into this area and the 8-period exponential moving average catches up to it, that could easily push it higher. So RPTX is a hold as well, and I'm expecting this one to be moving higher this week. But that is it for the current positions. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you today, so I'm going to end the video right there. If you have any questions or comments, please leave that down there in the comments section. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. And until next time, take care, everybody.